Welcome to the Start It, Own It, Finish It podcast with Dat Boy Mo 629. Discussing everything fitness and everything motivation. Here is where you will get your fitness education and motivational fix. Now, here's your host, Dat Boy Mo 629.
What's good, everybody? It's Dat Boy Mo 629 coming to y'all with another edition of the Start It, Own It, Finish It podcast. This time we about to talk about something that plagues a lot of people. It plagues a lot of people that have goals, dreams, aspirations, and it basically paralyzes people, right? So what is it? It's failure, and it's fear of failure. And why do people fear failure? Why do people let the fear of failure paralyze them and dictate their life and the outcome of their life? The fact that people fear failure, it's not the fact that what other people will think of them. It's not the fact that what other people, if it will succeed, it's what if it fails? You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of people, they live their life fearing failure, and won't try things, won't try new things, won't try their dreams, won't try their aspirations, won't try their goals, none of that. And I want to get into kind of like the nitty gritty. Failure is like a big old monster that's lurking over your shoulder, right? Just waiting to strike. Like if you try something, it strikes. If something don't go your way, it strikes. Oh, it's a failure. Or I risk failure, or I'm close to failure, or like, what if it fails? I won't win. See, my approach to trying anything in life, right, is you may fail, but if you don't try anyway, you still gonna fail. You see what I'm saying? So my thing is like, okay, either way, you ain't gonna win. You see what I'm saying? So if you try it and you fail, you lose. If you don't try it because you fear failing, you lose. So what is the difference? So it's the scientific fact. If the science, maybe because you tried it and now it's solidified that it fails, so you have nowhere else to go, right? And it plagues me, and I get it. I get it 100%. I was a big pessimist when it came to trying things, when it came to trying to reach my goal or trying to achieve a goal or a dream or reach for a dream. I was a big old pessimist. Man, what if I fail? What if I fail? I'm not gonna try it. What if I fail? What will people think of me? Like what if this person says something or that person says something? Like what do I do? As you get older, well, me, I try to tell this to the younger generation, 23-year-old, 20-year-old, 18-year-old. I try to tell this to the younger generation. Now, I'm not a success right now in my life. I'm not, Gary Vee. I'm not, Tom Bilyeu. I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not Jeff Bezos. I'm not I'm not, a CEO of a major network or Tyler Perry or, you know what I'm saying? I'm not any of those people. But I'm a guy that if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down swinging. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go down giving a good fight. Even if I lose, you got to strategize and you got to figure out ways that will work. The problem at the end of the day is you. The problem at the end of the day. And when you come to that realization and you come to accept that, and you come to accept the fact that you are the problem and you need to change for what the people want, then you will try to figure out what the people want and give the people what they want, which will reduce your rate of failure. So the science behind, right, the failure, like our fear of failure isn't just in our head. It's wired to us from birth to toddler years, to preschool, to kindergarten, to throughout our life, right? And there's a word for this. And it's an intense fear of failing that holds people back. And it's deeply rooted in our brain's fight or flight response, which is meant to protect us from threats. So we're protecting ourselves from threats, which failure is the threat. Now, the difference is that the brain can't tell the difference between failing at a new business idea or being chased by a wild animal. It's an anxiety trigger. So it's kind of like, all right, this is a new business idea. What if I invest all this and it doesn't work? There are ways to mitigate that. There's ways to mitigate and figure out if your business idea will work without spending tons of money. And one idea, one way to test, it's called testing, called A/B testing and stuff like that. And instead of spending tons and tons and tons of money on a business idea, sometimes you just have to test. Sometimes you have to do, and one of the tests, I'm going to drop a gem right here. If you want to know if your business idea is going to work or if people give a damn about your business idea, is that you can go to Facebook and you can just ask people on your friends list if these ideas will work. You can go to Facebook groups that you're a part of and get when you want to put testimony or just get opinions on what people think. Random strangers will give you the thumbs up or the thumb down, right? The truth. If it will work or if it won't work. What appeals to them, what don't appeal to them. Because at the end of the day, when you develop a business idea, your clients are not your friends, not your family members, none of that. Co-workers, none of that. Your clients are strangers. People listening to my podcast right now are strangers. People watching my video on YouTube or a clip on YouTube or Instagram Reel or TikTok are strangers. I don't know any of these people. These people don't really know me. So at the end of the day, we're all strangers. And strangers supporting each other. Videos and stuff that you like as a viewer. You scrolling on your phone. You don't know all of these people, right? You don't hang out with them. They're strangers. Even the people that you follow, people that you are fans of, you are a stranger to that person you're a fan of, right? So there are ways to test this, right? You can do, like I said, getting feedback in Facebook group, Facebook page, stuff like that, Instagram. You can run an ad. You can run they call it a engagement ad. You can spend a simple $1, $2, $3, $1 a day for 3 days and run this ad to see if people like it or not. You can look at, and you got data that backs it too. You can look at the data of the engagement rate, the percentage of the cost per click or cost per engagement. You see what I'm saying? So like it's $2 per engagement. It might not be that successful. But if it's, 5 cents, 10 cents, 2 cents per engagement, then you're like, okay, people like this. You can look at the data to see if people like what you have to offer, right? Also, the pressure that society has on us to succeed. Like, one of the things that we always do is compare ourselves to others. We always compare them, especially scrolling in the day and age of Instagram and TikTok. One of the reasons I really left TikTok or Instagram back in the day because I kept comparing myself to all these other successful people. I kept comparing myself to these people that I followed, friends that I had that were way more successful than me. I got so discouraged. I'm like, man, I ain't doing this no more. I'm not doing it. Nobody likes my stuff. Nobody wants to follow me. Nobody engaged in my posts. None of that. So I would compare myself to their success. And they always say comparison is the thief of joy. So, and I tell my wife this too. Like she would like to compare. And I was like, comparison is the thief of joy. It's easy to get caught up in the rat race and the comparison of who's doing better, or who's more successful or whatever. who's living their life a certain way. It's always easy to get caught up in that. And one of the things you really got to do when you get caught up in that is like sit back and be like, all right, this is my chapter. That is their chapter. So I'm not going to compare our chapters. You see what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit and compare our chapters. And when you talk about failures also, people will only show you the wins. They're not going to show you the losses. So you never know how many people and how many losses these people go through while they're posting their wins and their successes at the end of the day. So like if you actually have a one-on-one conversation, that's what I really want to do with the podcast, have one-on-one conversation, start on and finish it with successful people, and we're going to talk about how they started it and they owned it and they finished it, and we're going to go through the highs and the lows. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, because at the end of the day, there are no perfect people. There are no perfect businesses. There's no perfect roadmap to success. You hit bumps in the road. You have hiccups. You have all types of things. Hell, when I did my podcast about Elon Musk, the dude almost died. You see what I'm saying? So he almost died early in his life. So, and I mean, if you look at him, whatever, he's very successful now, the richest man on earth. But even him, he had a lot of hiccups. Tom Bilyeu, guy that I follow, he owned Quest Nutrition and stuff like that. He had a lot of hiccups. Another podcast that I listened to, Entrepreneurs on Fire and How I Built This. Those are two podcasts that I definitely listen to about business and business owners and entrepreneurs who share their story and the highs and the lows. Nobody better than the next person. It's just who persevered the most and strategized the best. So yeah, and then like another thing that affects the fear of failure, psychological barriers. You know what I'm saying? Like people, like I just said, like there's this thing called perfectionism. And perfectionism is an idea that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. So like me doing this video here, like my volume has to be a certain level before I post it, or the lighting has to be a certain way before I post it, or if it's not, I'm not going to post it. This mic has to be angled a certain way, or I'm not going to post the video. It's perfectionism. And then also fear of judgment too. So if you got fear of judgment, worrying about others, what others think if we fail. Who cares? If a motherfucker, and I'm going to say that loosely, is hyped up about your failures, then you shouldn't give a damn about them being a part of your wins. If a motherfucker is rooting on you to fail, fuck them. Life is too short to worry about somebody worrying about you to fail. Fuck them. One person wanting you to fail, you got 100 people wanting you to win. Fuck that. Fuck them. That's just how I see it. And low self-worth. Like when we do this stuff, we're so ingrained with failure and equaling personal value. And Martin Luther King would always say, someone's opinion of you is not your reality. You see what I'm saying? Whatever you think of me is not my reality. Deion Sanders said, do you think I care about what you think of me? No. Because if what you think of yourself is what's going to get you out of bed in the morning, it's going to drive you to be successful or not be successful. It all starts with you. All starts with your brain. All starts with your thoughts and your own feelings. Who cares what the next man think of you? Because at the end of the day, that next man is not living your life. You see what I'm saying? The next woman is not living your life. You ain't living theirs. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, screw them, right? Screw them. So how to overcome the fear of failure, right? I'll use mine. Because at the end of the day, I let in so many things in my life, and I could say this with confidence. And I use my experience to help others, to talk to others, that have not, like, especially the young ones out there, the young people who are unsure of themselves, not confident. I'm like, life is too short. Don't let anyone deter you from what your goals are. Because at the end of the day, when 10 years pass or 20 years pass, you want to look back and be like, damn, I shouldn't have listened to that idiot. I should have done it. Because I don't know where I would be at now. You see what I'm saying? So you have to reframe failure. Once you reframe failure, right, as learning experiences, right? So every failure teaches you something. It's a stepping stone, not a stop sign. You see what I'm saying? So if you fail at something, if you got a video that's not doing well, if you got videos that ain't doing well, if you got songs that are not great, doing well, if you got you have to look at your approach and take those failures as learning and be like, okay, what did I do wrong here? So if I did something wrong here, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, it's you. It begins with you. All you. So you have to take the ego out and realize that you are a service to the people watching you and being like, okay, what can I do to get more attention, better attention, more retention, more engagement? What am I doing wrong where I'm not getting that? You see what I'm saying? The people out there are not here to see you fail. They don't want to see you fail. They don't give a damn about you. They don't give a damn about me. They just give a damn about what me or you can do to entertain them. So if we can entertain them, provide some type of value, some type of service, that's where you win. So you have to take the ego out. So you have to reframe failure and as learning experiences, right? And you have to detach your failure from your identity. Because if you keep saying that, okay, I failed. You know how many people failed and became successes? You know how many successful YouTubers out there that got plenty of gold plaques out there that started off failing? Mr. Beast started off failing. I'm like, look at him. Mr. Beast is like one of the top YouTubers out there, and he started off failing. So, and to me, also, it said expose yourself to failure, but I also say embrace failure. Because if you embrace failure, you become bulletproof. If you embrace failure, you become bulletproof. And one of the things I always say is fail to success. Because you fail and you fail and you fail and you fail and you fail. But you have to fail. You have to learn. You have to recalibrate. You have to re-strategize. And then once you re-strategize, find something that works. Find something that works, right? If you fail 1,000 times, that one time, that one click, something has to click for you. And you have enough patience, you have enough discipline, you have enough iron will, you have enough mental fortitude to fail 1,000 times. To find that one thing that clicks, then you'll be a success. You will be a success. And once you're a success, you build off of your success and keep learning. Don't take it for granted. Don't take it for granted, right? So to sum up this podcast, I hope you guys found a lot of value in this podcast episode. To sum up this podcast, failure is not the enemy. Because at the end of the day, we are at some point in our life will fail. All of us. We will fail. You have to embrace that failure. Matter of fact, I say hug the motherfucker. Hug it. Kiss it. Love on it. But at the end of the day, you will fail. You will fail. And it's the best teacher you will ever have. Because experience is the best teacher. Whatever fail, whatever don't work, you'll learn. Because you don't know what will fail for you. You don't know what will work for you unless you actually try. And if you're struggling with the feel of failure, I would start by taking one small risk today. Just a small risk. If it failed, okay, fine. That's fine. Take another small risk tomorrow. Then the next day, then the next day. You have to be, like I said, you have to be bulletproof to failure. You just can't live up in failure and just reduce your life value and your life experiences because you fear failure. That's not the way to go. So if you are afraid to try, right, you have to ask yourself, how are you going to push past that? There's so many people out here making money. There's so many people out here way less talented than you and I are, getting way more money, having a financial freedom that we wish for, that you wish for. You see what I'm saying? So what are you going to do? What can you do to push past your fear to get the life that you feel that you deserve? You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you got to find a way to push past it, embrace failure, and just live it up. You have to be bulletproof. So take that as my advice. On my return to Start, Own It, Finish It podcast, took about a month off. Had to reset, had to recalibrate, had to figure out what works. You see what I'm saying? So the boy about to have a whole lot more content coming out. Hopefully, I found the golden ticket. But if I didn't, it'll fail, and I'll recalibrate and try again. So if you found anything from this episode, you found it helpful, click subscribe, like, share it with your friends or whatever who need a motivational pump, any of that. Then keep pushing forward. And don't forget, you know what it is. Start it, own it, finish it.
You've been listening to the Start It, Own It, Finish It podcast. Be sure to subscribe to receive new episodes. Link up with Dat Boy Mo 629 on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, or visit him at AceOneWarrior.com. Until next time, start it, own it, finish it.